And we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of GTM Rewired, wherein we talk about something new in GTM, which is happening around AI. And today we have a very interesting topic, which is a very confusing topic for a lot of folks. It's partner led growth. Is it just product? Is it people? Is it business partnership? What is it? We're going to break all of that down. And how do you really go about it? What are the benefits of looking at this channel for GTM? And Maria, of course, is going to take us through that because she's the expert on this. And so, without further waiting, and we're already on time, I want to start on time. I'll introduce Maria to all of you and we'll start the live. Thank you, everyone who's pouring in now. I see a lot of people coming in. Hello. Okay, so Maria Scheifler is the founder of MKT Velocity and a certified GTM OS partner. With 15 years of hands on experience as a GTM operator, she's managed 11 acquisitions, 4 business units, 15 products, and a 4,000 partner channel. Mind it, it's not 4,000 partner channel. So you can ask all your questions around this GTM channel, which is partner led growth. She's scaled companies from Series A to $250 million in annual recurring revenue and to a $6 billion IPO. So that's saying something. Like that's like legit experience. And thank you so much for giving your time today. I'm thrilled to have her here. And we're very excited to learn about this topic. Like I said, there's a lot of confusion around this topic, partner led growth. I received a lot of questions. I think I already discussed a few with you. So please, I mean, like, I think start with how you got into this channel. Tell us about a little bit about your journey and what made you get into GTM and then partner led growth.
Thank you, Swati. I'm excited to be here too and talk about this topic. So, like you said, I spent the last 15 years leading marketing teams and go-to-market teams. I started on the agency side before going in-house. I initially learned about partner-led growth when I joined a Japanese Korean tech company, competitors with WhatsApp, to lead their marketing and comms team for the European market. The company IPO'd during my time there, and that company was mainly product-led growth, but because it was mainly B2C, we also built the partner-led growth motion for brand awareness. We mainly partnered with mainstream consumer brands like Samsung, Coca-Cola, Warner Music to do joint PR and ad campaigns. After that, I moved to the States and I joined an education and membership organization to lead our global marketing efforts. And here, our products were delivered across the globe by service delivery partners, so a different type of partners. Mm-hmm. Then I moved to build a marketing function from a ground up at a Series A startup in the CX space. And here our two main motions were direct and partner-led growth. Here, the partner-led growth was mainly focused on joint value proposition and partnering with specific types of partners in the CX space. And we did a co-selling together. And then from there, I joined a $250 million public company in the communication space. That's the one with the 11 acquisitions and 5 business units. And I was their VP of global marketing. Here, 80% of our revenue came through the channel. Here, when I mean the channel, I mean the TSDs, direct partners, mainly like MSPs and VARs, and the rest came through direct. And here, in collaboration with the CRO, we built that partner program to prioritize more than 4,000 partners, as you mentioned earlier. And today, I work as a fractional marketing leader, and I help complex growth stage and mid-market B2B companies that have both direct and partner motions, and I help them redefine their ideal customer profile, especially when there's been some type of change events, like acquisition, entering a new market, launching a new product, because most of the time when there's an event like that, these events create targeting confusion, poor pipeline quality, and there's a leadership misalignment. So that's what I help companies at the moment with.
Thank you so much. I mean, like, you have truckloads of experience, and we already have a very interesting question. The question is that what's the difference between partner campaign and a referral campaign? So we'll take that up, but I think before we get into that question, let's define what is partner-led growth, and that's the topic. The topic itself is partner-led growth, GTM motion, actually building revenue and pipeline. So it'll be great if, Maria, you can help us break down this title today. what does it mean when we say partner-led growth, and how does it impact revenue? And then, like, as a second parter, we can answer the first question that is coming for the day, which is how is it different from referral campaigns?
Absolutely. So partner-led is one of the 6 go-to-market motions. So you have events, you have inbound, you have community, you have product-led, and one of them is also partner-led. And
Yes.
according to research from GTM Partners, partner-sourced opportunities have a 46% higher win rate. Partner
Mm-hmm.
influenced opportunities have a 99% higher win rate, and partner sourced deals close about 11% faster. And
Wow.
when we talk about this partner-led growth, it is the adoption is nearly universal because roughly 66% of companies run a partner-led motion. And a study by HubSpot partnership leaders and Canalices found that 77% of all organizations and 92% of enterprise companies have a partner program. So it is very
Wow.
wide, like most companies, and especially in the tech space, they leverage partners for growth, and especially when they enter new markets and they become global, right? So when you mentioned earlier the question, like what's the difference between reseller or partners?
Yes.
And that's part of what I wanted to talk to you about today is like the different types of partner motions. You
Hmm.
have channel partners, and when I mentioned earlier, my last company, um, we worked with TSD's technology service distributors, and there were partners underneath them, so mainly MSPs and VARs. So the channel is mainly distributors, VARs, system integrators, consultants, and agencies. And here, the value is that they have an existing customer relationship, or they have market and industry expertise. That's a type of partner. Then you have
Hmm.
ecosystem partners. They're interconnected companies with overlapping or adjacent use cases, shared data or integrations. And here you can include the hyperscalers like AWS, Google, Azure. Then you have referral partners,
Hmm.
customers or close partners who recommend you often for an incentive. You have
Hmm.
affiliate. This is more performance based, promotion
Yes.
for a commission. um, Best for freemium or lower priced items, more transactional sales when you don't have like a buying committee, when there's not like a large ticket, it's smaller. And then you have resellers, third party who buy and resell, and then they add their margin across transparent or white labeled or bundled arrangements. And some of these resellers can be part of the channel as well, if it
Wow.
makes sense. And when you build your program, or when you're building your partner-led growth, you need to pick which types of partners you're going to focus on, and the execution is going to be a little bit different depending on them, if it makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's so exciting because that answers the question that referral is just one type of a partner channel. There are many, many more. There's another question which is coming from the audience. And the question is that as a startup of a product company, SaaS product company, which partner channel would you recommend that we should invest in building?
Okay. Before I dive into that, I want to tell you some of the readiness signals
Oh,
that
yes.
will tell you that you're ready to invest in partner motion. And then we go into, okay, how to pick those, so
100%.
that it all aligns.
Yes,
So
yes.
some of those readiness signals for partner-led motion are your product depends on integrations or another solution's data. Your buyer also buys a complementary solution, for example, or customers need a hard to find skill or a heavy implementation. Or like I mentioned earlier, you are entering a new geography, you have no presence there, so you don't know how to what's the best way to enter that market. Or there are ready buyers, but your sales team will never be able to reach them on their own. Or you're already getting referrals without asking, so that's also a sign that a real program would work. There's one disqualifier here, is that if the value you deliver depends on you personally steering the sale start to
Mm,
finish, you can't hand that sale to a partner without breaking it. Unless, I mean, this is typically when it's a consultative sale process, when you have solution engineers scoping the specific environment, custom pricing, or security reviews, tailor implementation. This only works if it's a true partnership where you co-sell and it's a strategic alliance with a joint value proposition, and you and the partner are really in the deal together. Otherwise, that's not gonna work as a channel partner or
Of
some
course.
other reseller. And my take here is, if you're early, the question, like answering the question that was asked, when do you start and which ones do you pick, is if you're early and you haven't proven that your direct motion works, that's very risky to start a partner program or selling through partners, because they won't want to invest in a vendor that cannot sell itself. And most partners these days, they want you to provide leads to them as well. Like, for example, in my last company, in the communication space, everybody wants the leads these days, right? Everybody wants to partner because they think they're going to get, they're going to increase their pipeline and their growth. And so partners also want to partner with you because you're going to provide them with leads. So they will give you leads as well. It's kind of a shared thing. So answering the question towards like, when do you pick, which type of partners do you pick? It depends on, are you a tech vendor? Like, what type of, do you offer a technology or services? And then are you going to enter a specific market? Like, what type, can we get more insights from that person who asked the question?
I think we have a tech product and basically a SaaS product. And yeah, that's what it's a product per service kind of a setup, wherein there's customer service, and it's a sales led motion right now that they are doing.
Sales led.
It's not direct product led growth. It's a sales led motion wherein they do the onboarding and everything. And I think they want to enter a new geography. So
new geography.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess depending on the geography and depending on that specific tech product, for example, if it's I have here, if they want to,
because I wouldn't know if this is true. So let's take resource example. I mean, we're building in generative engine optimization space, and which is basically AI search on LLMs. And I would want to sell in US, Canada, and marketing agencies are somebody that who are already selling this service, but they would want a product. They would want somebody to take full ownership of this inbound channel or search based inbound channel. So how do you think I can look at something like this?
Okay, so I think that would be more mainly like the type of ecosystem and technology type of partnership, a strategic alliance where the currency is more of a joint value proposition. That technology, search AI, is going to deliver value to the agency. So the agency now has something else new, a new service to offer their customers, and they can co-sell together. And for that company, they can leverage the agencies or existing customers and pipeline to introduce that product. But that agency is going to likely want them to provide some leads and see that they've been successful in another region. So my take is test it out first with a couple, like start talking with some of those agency vendors. Yes. And here, this is another thing I wanted to talk about, is really truly identify your ideal customer profile for your partner. They think it's agencies, marketing agencies, but are those the agencies? Like, they need to define a matrix for the partners and score the candidates and versus, like, have they been successful in the past with other agencies in another market? And what were those characteristics? For example, some of the questions I like to ask to identify these ideal partners are: do they reach the same customers that we already win? Or are they completely different? Do they need us, or can they do it themselves? Can they and will they actually drive deals? Because there might be all that you might say yes to both of the other questions, but then they're
Yes.
like, no, they don't really want to drive leads to you, right? So really be honest with yourself and start testing this. Then build tiers of those partners and invest your efforts and money in the highest tiers. When I mean your money and efforts, I mean your enablement, training, marketing development funds. If you're going to do spiffs, make sure
Mm.
that you are prioritizing the top tier of those partners when you build that ICP. And then review these quarterly, because the ICP drifts just as the ICP for your customer drifts with time, changes in the market, or you're changing your product. Any type of event can shift the environment. So make sure that you revisit that ICP for your customer, like who's your ideal customer profile, who's your ideal partner profile, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And how do you build out these programs? There's another question, and I think it's very valid because we talk about partnerships. Of course, they're individual relationships that work. Like basically, you test out, you ask these three questions, which is a very fair matrix that whether it will benefit them, their clients, whether they can do it on their own, and actually can they generate revenue for you, create leads for you, get you business. But at the same time, how do you turn something which is like one or two partnerships, and once you decide, oh, this is working, be it some agency or be it any other partner motion, how do you turn it into a program and what are the KPIs for success?
Okay, so depending on the types of partners, you
Mm.
build a more robust program or not. So, for example, if you're building for for the channel partners, you likely want to have a real robust program with a partner portal. You want to have deal registration for them to register the deals in your platform. You want to make sure that you are clear on the spiffs, and you create new promotions regularly on those spiffs so that the sellers get more money for selling you. You want to have marketing development funds. You want to have, and also you want to make sure that you have channel marketing in constant relationship with your partners and your tier one partners, enablement and training them, and access to all your buyer enablement material and the reps. And you want to have someone who owns the program. I think, to me, this is something that's key, and some of
Yes.
the reason why many programs fail is because no one's really owning it.
Yeah.
And here you need it's very cross functional, because you have sales, you have marketing, you have customer success and delivery. So and product is part of that as well. So you need to make sure you have a team that is very, very cross functional, and someone who actually leads that. So for example, having a channel chief, or if it's a strategic alliance, head of strategic alliance, and someone really steering the boat and being responsible for those partners and for
Mhm.
the program.
Okay. There's one more question on is partner led motion more dependable? Because if you depend too much on partners and if they mess with you, like that's the language being used, and then you're in a soup because you've not built any direct rapport because you've not directly entered the market. So how dependable is this channel? Very interesting question, but yeah, I just read it
To
out.
me, it's a hard one. To me, the partner motion is one of the trickiest one. But if you get it right, you can
Mm,
just grow like unlimited growth, so to
mm.
speak, right? Like, because the partners can provide that reach that you can't have with just your direct sales, right? But
I
it's
think
very
the question
tricky.
also, yeah, the question also is, I'll just add a little bit to it, that the fear is because they just tied up their fear. I fear that my partner would like try and find a cheaper version or get my some of my, because if they're selling me, they have a long term relationship with me, they might replicate my product and then do it themselves because they can, like, how much can we trust a partner? I think that's where this is going. Please continue, Maria. I'm sorry I stopped you in your chain of
No,
thought,
no,
but
no,
I.
no. I mean, I guess it depends. Depends on the partners, because if they're MSPs and they already have the relationships with their partners, many of them are not interested in building the technology solutions. Many are, but like
Yeah.
many are not, right? So I think it's a matter of understanding what what do they want, like select who those partners are and what do they actually want from you, and also be clear on what your value propositioning is and why
Yes.
it's better for them to partner with you than develop in themselves, because it takes a lot of investment to develop a product, and not just develop it but just update it and keep it up to
Yes.
date, and releasing new features and things like that. So that's very, very costly. So if you
Mhm.
find the right partner that trusts you, you've built that relationship, and it's a win-win situation, because the partner thinks also, well, what if these vendors start selling to other partners that are competitors, or start selling to my direct customers? They go
Yes. Yes. Yes.
around me, right? So I think it's kind of a both two-way situation where there needs to be trust in both, and both partners need to deliver value. um,
Yes. Okay, so there's another question. What characteristics separate high performing partners from partners that would never generate pipeline? How do you distinguish between the two?
um, that's a good question. So partners who will generate from those who won't generate. So that, going back to the ideal customer profile, ideal partner profile, you ask those questions. Do they reach the customers we already win? Do they need us, or can they do it themselves? Can they, and will they actually drive deals? And also, are there any type of incentives? um,
Mhm.
Many cases, if you start building a partner program, if you don't have any spiffs, you're not gonna they're not gonna sell
Can
you.
you
They're
tell
gonna
me
competitive.
what is the meaning of spiffs? You've been using that word. I've been meaning to ask you. Like, uh,
The spiffs, I don't know what it stands for. I think I've been let me see. Spiff
yes.
meaning.
Sorry, I think.
Basically, it's a compensation, right? Like
Ah,
it's
okay.
an immediate short-term incentive or bonus offered to a
Ah,
salesperson
understood.
for selling a specific product or meeting a defined goal. And in the
Understood.
channel, that's like table
Yeah.
stakes. They need to get this their spiffs, and on top of that, their recurring revenue, right?
Yes, yes. I think
From
that's
your
where only the entire deal it makes sense, and you're absolutely right. So there is one part wherein there is reselling, wherein they get to kind of decide on the product costing. Okay, I'm billing you this much. I bill you like $100 for it. You can go and sell it for 150, 200, like maybe up to this range. Or should you be defining the pricing? Should it be, oh, you sell it for 110 only, but your spips or compensation would be that kind of value. If you do 5 per month, this is how much you get. If you do 10 per month, this is how much you get. Which module do you think works better and would uh, get more partner traction
It
between the
depends on
two?
the product. Is it
Okay.
a product where your partner will add some value to it? Like
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned earlier, you're the person who asked the question.
Yes.
They have a tech AI search
Correct.
product that they want to
Yes.
sell to agencies, so the agency can add a value
Yes.
wrapped around that. So
Yes.
absolutely, you can give them a white label, right? So you
Mhm.
give them, this is your agency price, and you sell it at whatever price you want, and they won't see my name. It's all under whatever agencies if you white label it. Or you want to go the right where, oh, I want my brand to be part of that, so it's not white
Mhm.
label anymore, and it's a specific price and you can add on top, or depending if you're your other partners, because if you're gonna sell it to other partners and they're all going to sell the same thing, you might want your product to have the same
Pricing
price
to
for
be
all the
same.
partners, right?
Yes.
So it depends on the value that you deliver, and
Mhm.
how many other partners you're going to partner, and the types of your partners.
That's interesting. And like you said that a company first needs to decide whether they're even ready for a partner-led motion. Can you take us through like in terms of growth stages? How can you map like partner-led program, or what kind of partners at what stage of growth should a company be looking at? Like standard, startup, then scale up, then enterprise. So depending upon the stage of the company.
Right. I think when companies are still in the early stages in the problem market fit. They're still figuring out startup mode, their solution, how that solution solves a specific problem to a specific audience in a specific way. I think there you still need to test, and
Mhm.
there's certainly direct and other motions, and you try events, and you try inbound, and you try an outbound, and you try, you know, sometimes product led. You try different things. Once you move to the product market fit, you've
Mhm.
already defined that you can sell your one product in one way to one audience, and you want to scale that and repeat that as much as possible, but you stay there. And then once, and you can grow just with a one
Yeah.
way of going to market. You can grow revenue. You can stay in that stage for a long time. And then once you start launching new products or acquiring companies, or you want to start entering new markets, you move into a platform market
Yeah.
fit phase.
Perfect.
And that's when you have different
Yeah.
different motions. But every time you launch a new product, or you enter a new market, you have to go all the way up to the beginning and start testing that market and that partner motion, so it's kind of, you got to revisit and go back to the start every time you grow and you start um a new initiative.
Emotion, yeah, I completely agree. And so you talked about, see, of course, revenue and leads is an important factor when you judge the success of a partner program. Are there any other KPIs to watch out for? And specifically, I would want to also add a question here. Are there any soft skills like vibe match? I mean, like I'm just saying random words here that you need to look out in your partners, like we do while we hire employees in the company. So, do you think that plays a role, or you think no, it doesn't matter at all? You can partner with anyone. What's your take
Mm.
on that?
So
KPIs
in
and
terms
the type of people. Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of metrics, partner source opportunities, then
Mm-hmm.
average deal size of those opportunities, are they bigger or smaller than your direct motion?
Mm-hmm.
What's your close rate versus your direct motion or other motions? And also looking at those metrics through different segments, like industry, or in this deal size, what are those metrics, right? So those are the analytics side. And then in terms of, the question was around if they're like
Type of
trade.
partner, kind of, yeah, any kind of like when we hire as employees, when we hire employees in the company, there is this whole thing that whether they'll fit the company type or not. There is a uh, like I understand partner ICP, but are there any kind of uh, soft skills or any kind of parameters that you need to be sure of while entering into a partnership agreement with a business or with an individual, for that matter?
It depends on the type of partnership. If
Mhm.
it's a channel, the channel
Yes.
partners, mainly it's more transactional, and yes, you have a relationship, but you're not necessarily co-selling. When you're co-selling, it's a strategic alliance, and it's a joint venture. I think there needs to be a fitting culture as well, right?
Okay. Great.
um
Can you talk a little bit more about co-selling? I mean, we haven't touched upon this topic. Like, how does it work? What does it mean?
okay, so let me give you a concrete example. One of the
Yeah.
companies I worked for, Series A startup, 50% of our revenue, we said, is going to come from partners, because the technology that we developed in the
Mm-hmm.
CX space was solving a very specific problem for customer support, for brands with different customers in different languages, in different markets with different languages. So multilingual support was a challenge before AI. So we're talking about like 5 years ago, before AI was embedded in CX. So we had a multilingual CX tool that was very, very good for BPOs,
Okay.
business process
Yeah.
outsourcers, in those call centers. So
Yes.
if they could leverage our tool, they didn't need to hire 4 agents that could speak different languages, because it all added up and it was ended up being very expensive and very complicated. So us partnering with those BPOs made the BPOs being much more competitive in winning
Mm,
their customers. So
yeah,
our joint value proposition was, hey, you can use our agents,
yeah,
the people with their
yeah, yeah,
skills and trained with this company and with this technology to be much more effective
yeah.
and much more cost effective. And that was a true joint value proposition and true cross sell motion, because we were selling both the people and the
Yes.
technology together.
Wow, very interesting. So essentially, something in your industry, which is not your direct competition, but actually would enhance their work. And so you basically they become your entry point into talking. Like instead of selling just your as in solution to the BPO, the point was that you're helping BPOs also scale their business. So together you were like kind of selling instead of just like deciding, oh, I'm just going to sell BPOs to BPOs and looking for a partner program who sells to BPOs. Like instead of creating a partner program who's selling to call centers, you were rather directly partnering with call centers to kind of increase their business, then your business automatically grows because it's like a per seat kind of a thing. Very, very interesting example and very unique way of looking at how to create a new revenue channel. I think that's the whole thing about partner led growth. You can create very unique revenue channel in a very different way because like that is beneficial to both you and the partner ecosystem as well, depending upon the type of
Absolutely.
partner. That's very
Absolutely.
interesting. And of course, this is one question that I ask all our guests who come in because it's AI, and you did talk about AI. So, how do you think AI is helping better this channel? Where do you see this fitting in, or do you think AI is a great partner because now we see a lot of AI SDRs popping up who's doing the sales, they're helping with direct sales. So, do you see AI as a, like a partner sell doing business, or do you where do you think AI can be integrated into making your partner programs better?
I think that AI is only amplify whatever strategy you build. So first you need to build your foundation, and that AI cannot do for you. And you need experienced people. You need to know the different types of partners. You need to hire people who have built partner programs before, or account executives and channel managers that have that experience. And then AI is only going to amplify all that and make you faster and more efficient in building your enablement. You can build enablement at scale, all the training to your partners, creating content, or having access to your brain with all these AI tools, creating an MCP server or whatever tools that every day every week there's a
Yes.
new thing that can be built with the new models, right? So it's only going to amplify the things that you're already doing. Perhaps there's new ways of building new things that weren't there before, but at the end of the day, it's going to amplify your strategy.
100%. And what's your favorite AI tech stack? We're already on time, but this is one question that I need to know. What's your go-to AI tech stack which you swear by?
I'm a Claude marketer, go to market operator. Yes, Claude skills, MCP servers through Claude, everything Claude these days. I mean, I still have ChatGPT and some others, but yeah, Claude.
Definitely Claude. The go-to is Claude, of course. And what is one advice that you would want to give to a lot of people here? They were very ad hoc questions, but what advice that you would want to leave them with while they're building out partner-led motion to all these GTM operators who joined us today?
Um, Partner-led motion is a very powerful motion to grow your business, but first you need to prove that there's a problem and product market fit through your direct motion um, and other motions. And once you figure that out, hire the skilled, experienced people who've done it before and they have some of those relationships, because it's very tricky and you want to get it right from the beginning.
Yes. Yes, no, this is amazing. Thank you so much, Maria, for your time. And what we understood, and for me, the great takeaway was that partner led motion is not a replacement for your direct sales. I mean, you have to establish that you can't start, that can't be your first GTM channel. Correct me if I'm wrong here. That partner led motion is not your very first GTM channel motion. The first is like probably founder led, and you need to prove like with what ICP is your product, you're able to sell your service or your product, and then you see how a partner program can you can build it out for yourself, whether it is
Right.
co-selling, it is somebody selling by putting their margin on top of it, whether it is like a channel partner
Rights.
network, which is very interesting. Franchisee model is another partner network in itself, which is channel partner. I believe franchisee model would also categorize under channel partners only. What do you think?
And
Franchise?
the only thing here, the only caveat that I have here is, unless you're selling a commodity, like a product that's
Mm,
already a commodity out there and you've already done it through the channel, you can launch a new product and just sell through the channel if you have those
yeah.
relationships, right? So I
Yes.
think that there's a little caveat, but for most people that are listening to this, I'm assuming it's a new product, something new, like a new technology or new service, something different. That's when first, prove that your product or service works before
No,
you
that's
try to push
amazing
it.
because you've already built a community. It's like building a community. I mean, getting the partner channel right is building a dedicated community. And I think the biggest example would be Amazon, Google. I mean, these guys have like huge partner channels and with whom they operate. And any new product that comes up with Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud, they'll come up with a new product. They already have a partner network which is kind of reselling that like immediately. I mean, which they can activate when a new product comes. So you're absolutely right. That's how you scale and grow. So thank you so much, Maria, for taking out the time today. So much for all of us to learn, and such key things you solved for us. And then how do you even look at this motion? How do you prioritize? I mean, you went down to the basics and clarified so many different things for us, which I think are very murky, are very doubtful, and like you get so many different advice from all over the place. And of course, please go and follow Maria on her LinkedIn channel and on her LinkedIn profile. And of course, set up a call with her in case you are setting up your partner motion. She's an amazing person. And thank you so much for taking out the time today.
Thank you, Sari. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, guys.